Good day, folks. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Trevor and I am your one-armed bandit in the bush. Today's episode will focus on my final day in the park, the Death Valley National Park, where I exited along the Greenwater Valley Road, having left from Marble Canyon. So I have some footage exiting from Marble Canyon. I'll talk a little bit about that rooftop tent latch. It's been giving me a tough time. Believe I found the root cause of that and resolved it. So some sharing of that, some glorious vistas of the night sky to share. And then this, of course, concludes my visit to Death Valley National Park, where I found myself a digs, booked into Holiday Inn, uploading all my videos. In fact, doing the final edits on this one. And I'll be out of here tomorrow morning, back out into the bush. So stay tuned. Good day, folks. Welcome back. So you would have experienced over the last few days how I've been battling with this tent to try and close it. So it got me thinking last night as to what the root cause was, and I'm hoping that what I've done is find the root cause of my problem. But before we can determine that, I'm going to have to close it up. And let's see, because as you know, this latch in particular, the one on the right-hand side here, has been giving me untold problems every single time, both opening and closing. So I will, when I get to camp, maybe do a more detailed overview of what I did, if it's worked. If it hasn't worked, I will just quietly sit down and have a beer, and I won't say anything about what I thought I did to fix the potential problem. Not the potential problem, the actual problem. But did I find the root cause? Because half the time we spend wasting trying to fix things, solve problems, and we don't really determine the root cause. So, I will talk through that a little bit more. As I say, if it works. Otherwise, I'm just going to play ignorant. But I don't want to keep battling with this because, obviously, as you would have seen, functionally there's something not right. I've tried this thing with my gear in, my sleeping gear in. I've tried it with sleeping gear out. And you know what? It made no difference. So, given that this is a day one problem, I think I have the root cause. In fact, I will comment a little now. Let me just fold in this side. This side is the baby that is the biggest of the problem. She's the one who don't want to close. She's the one who won't let me close her. Let's just bring this down slowly here so that I can tuck it in. One final tuck before it fully folds down. Let's check this side. What are you looking like, huh? Are you folding in? Are you cooperating? Yeah. Actually, for some funny reason, this side, maybe because it's the driver's side, it's the side where I sit on it, it's works champion. Alright, well, so far, normal. But I'm going to try latch this right side now. And let's see. Was this in fact Bandit in the bush fix? Absolutely it was. Look at that, that went on so easy. Huh? I didn't even have to exert any pressure or downward force. So, the moral of the story is seek the root cause before you try to fix. I was thinking stuff inside the tent, try this, try that. That's not the way to do it. And when we get to camp this evening, I'm going to explain. Hope you enjoyed that. Actually, you probably wouldn't have necessarily enjoyed it as much as I did. but I can assure you that is the fix. So, now that I've successfully gone and misplaced my remote control, here it is. I think I can honestly say this time that it was a pleasure to fold up the tent this morning. So here we go, rolling down the trail. We're about to enter into the canyons. Yet again, to get through and out. Let's see what it looks like. So there we go, we're heading down that way into them flats. Let's see what we find down there. Alright, we're about at the end of this trail. Then we'll cross that flat section there. There's a bit of soft sand to drive in, and then we'll be out. So very interesting to see that after, let's read this one up. Still have snow on the mountains. Now, when I came along this section of the trail, what would it have been now? 3 days ago, the wind was blowing so hard you could barely see, I don't know, maybe about 50 yards or so ahead. Certainly less than 100. But there was such a dust storm blowing here, and you can see why. I mean, there's a lot of loose sand around here, and it will get even sandier further down the trail. Let's see if we can get some footage when we get further down there on the softer sand. There's a lot of washboards on this road, and as you can imagine, the vast majority, if not all vehicles traveling along here, are driving in two-wheel drive. Because those wheels are spinning, that's what's creating all of these ruts that gives you the good old rattle. Only way to combat it is you got to reduce tire pressure. But think about the early pioneers in their wagons. What did they do? They couldn't drop the tire pressure on their wagons. You know, so one, they couldn't get flotation in the soft sand. And two, most definitely, ka-dunk, 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 all the way down the trail, given the speed they would have been traveling. Man, they were a hardy bunch, that lot. This is where it'd be great to have the drone up, following behind us, above us, to the side of us, anywhere, man. Just to get another perspective would be very, very, very nice indeed. So we have one more day left in this park, and then I'm going to try and make sure I get to BLM lands where there's some great vistas, and I can get the drone up, give you another view. But here you go, this is the sandy section of this trail. But to be quite honest, quite easy to do it just in two-wheel drive. So as long as you get your tire pressure right and then you have sufficient flotation, you should never have any problems in this. The other thing is you don't want to go too slow, but you actually do dig in. So keep a bit of momentum, but you know, be mindful. This is not the place to be speeding. And besides, this is not a desert race. This is a overland, joyful, leisurely little experience drive. Yeah, that's what I think we'll call that. Oh yeah. What an awesome day. What a place to be. Death Valley, California. Oh yeah. This is a new one for me that I would come back to more than once. Totally enjoyed my time in this park. Let's go try and make the most of the last day. There you can see the camp, the ranger station, just in the background there. As we get closer. And there we go. This is the end of the trail. Now, on to the next place. So as the shadows cast themselves long across the valley behind me and onto the mountains as the last of the sunlight really magnifies it, let me say that it's been a totally enjoyable experience. Death Valley National Park, this is my last night here. And when I look beyond there and I see the adventure that awaits, and I reflect on the adventure that I've had, I really feel excited. This has been a very, very pleasant park to visit. The staff in particular have been extremely friendly. I mean, this morning I was talking to a ranger getting some advice on my forward expedition and, you know, suggestions that he might have of the local area. And he was kind enough to share that experience, or his experience, with me, insofar as, you know, making suggestions as to where it is that I should go. So I'm looking forward to that. However, tomorrow I certainly need to find myself a little bit of a different digs for a couple of reasons. So firstly, I got a little bit of laundry that needs to be done. Secondly, I've made a number of videos that need to be uploaded. And unfortunately, I've been in zero signal country. So I've uploaded absolutely nothing for the past week. And I'm excited to share the material of the park with you. And then, of course, we'll be onwards with the next expedition. And that's going to be into this mountain range and all of this BLM land behind me that's awaiting eagerly somebody to come along and explore. That's going to be you and me. So, you know, until tomorrow morning's coffee, may I wish you a pleasant evening. Good night, fellas. Sleep well. I hope it's a really good one. And join me for coffee in the morning. As I sit here and look upwards and ponder about, you know, everything that really goes up in the heavens above us, that you don't really quite notice or observe until you truly get out into the wilderness like this. And then you sit here by yourself and you just look in amazement. I'm going to give you a few different angles, but there you go. Look at this awesome shot of the moon rising. Sparkling new, look at that, beeping out. I wish it was actually as easy as just saying, well, look at this. Isn't this something to behold? Look at the magnificence of the sky. But, you know, what I truly hope is that you'd actually come out here and gaze upwards and have a look for yourself. It truly is incredible. I hope you can hear the silence. Look at that sky. Listen to the silence. Crickets, I don't know if you'll hear them. In fact, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the microphone off and then see if you'll pick them up in the background. That's the sound of the night sky. Well, that's not quite true. That's the sound down here on Earth. That's not the sound of the night sky, because that's way up there. Who knows? I don't know what it sounds like, but at least this is what it sounds like down here. And to me, that beats Simon and Garfunkel's Sound of Silence. Well, good morning. I hope you had a good sleep. I'm going to be with you in a moment because I think you might remember I said join me for coffee. So, let's get coffee on the road. Anyway, I hope you had a good night's sleep. I certainly did. But you know, I couldn't quite put the camera down last night. And all I wanted to do was just take pictures of these gorgeous, gorgeous stars. I mean, it was a stunning night out last night. So, you know, I got a little bit of video, but, you know, I may or may not capture it all that well. But I tell you something, man, oh man, I believe the still pictures are going to come out absolutely superb. So let's just get some coffee on the road. There you go. Off job. Yeah. Move this, open it properly, and it'll come out no problem. But, you know, sometimes life is more interesting when you have to struggle. Just a little bit, you know. Shouldn't always just be a breeze. Eh? Why not have a little bit of self-induced struggle along the way? I'm not too sure who would agree with that, but I don't. So next time, I'm going to move it and I'm going to open the drawer properly. So, actually, we need to go back. All right. Enough joking around. Let's get some water on the go, yeah, man. Hey, what's it taking all day just to put the water on? Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. And in fact, given that this is my last day, I may as well make 2 cups. 1, 2. There you go. See, that's how you count 2 cups. 1, 2, and then it's 2 cups. Oh, see, I'm making quite a noise this morning, aren't I? And just like that, we have fire. But not coffee just yet. So let me get the mug and I'll get some cream out and we'll be good to go. Okay. Don't know about you and what you have in your coffee. Other than coffee, which obviously everybody would do. But me personally, I'm not really a half and half guy. I like real cream. So, heavy whipping cream. That's what you should be doing. You need the fat. Yeah. The fat from the moo. That's what you need. So, besides, I'll tell you what the other advantage is that you can go for days and days and days and days and you don't have to worry, oh, is my cream gone sour? Because this stuff don't go that sour, you see? But it just tastes delicious. Why would you want to have bland coffee? I mean, so you put like skimmed milk that's got absolutely no taste. All the nutrition is stripped out of it. And then you go add artificial sweetener, so you put poison in, or even worse, you put real sugar, which is even more poisonous. No. Coffee, cream, and water. That's the way I like to have it. So problem solving is something that we will encounter out here quite a lot because you're constantly running into problems. So, might as well do it correct. And the key challenge, I think, or the biggest mistake that you can make when it comes time to try and solve problems is jumping to fix. Yep. So you start the process off by, okay, so I've got a problem. What's causing it? Yeah. Something's going wrong. What's causing it? That's the way most of us would probably approach it. Well, that's the way I approached it. And it took me quite a few days, quite a few attempts of opening and closing this tent, trying different things. What is causing this? There's something inside here that is not allowing this thing to close properly. Well, start with defining the problem first, because, having been trained before in problem solving, I should know better that the first thing that you do is you define your problem. So let's use this tent as an example. So instead of me saying, the tent's giving me trouble, something's preventing it from closing, I should have started by defining my problem first. So bear with me as I go through the dialogue. But question number one, what is the thing you're having problem with? My rooftop tent. Can you be more specific about your rooftop tent? Yes, it's battling to latch closed and it's battling to unlatch when I try to open it. Can you be more specific about the latches? Well, yes, it's specifically the latch on the passenger side. So where else could you be having problems with the latches but you're not? Well, I could be having it on the driver's side, but I'm not. Okay. Where about on the latch is the problem? The problem appears to be on the striker bolt where the clamp fits over. You can't, it just, that's where it occurs. That's where the problem lies. So where else on the latch could you have it, but you're not? Well, it could be elsewhere on the latch, but it isn't. It's the striker bolt. Okay. So now that I've clearly defined what the thing is that I'm having a problem with, let's just quickly look at a difference. So what is different between the striker bolt on the latch on the passenger side versus the striker bolt on the latch on the driver's side? Well, that required a little bit of inspection. And, well, guess what I found? Well, it would appear as if the striker bolt on the latch on the passenger side is set lower than the striker bolt on the latch on the driver's side. So there's the difference. Now I have a problem statement, okay? It's not inside the tent, it's not on top of the tent. I've been very clear, very specific, and it's immediately taken me to where the thing is that I'm having a problem. Now I haven't yet determined that this is the root cause, so I can now hypothesize and then ask the same question. If the positioning of the striker bolt lower on the passenger side than on the driver's side is causing problems with the latch opening and closing, how does it explain that you only experience the problem on the driver, at least on the passenger side, and not on the driver's side? Well, it is self-explanatory, isn't it? So I had to fix it. And it's great in theory to troubleshoot it. It's a different thing in practice to actually fix it. So that requires a little bit more dexterity, as there's bolts that come into this striker bolt from both sides. At least there's nut bolts, that come into it. They are both Allen key heads on them, so you need to have two Allen keys, one on this side, one on that side. Okay, one on that side, one on this side, and you got to hold them and then turn them. So that's where there's a little bit of magic. Later, I will demonstrate and show you which tools it was that I used and how I went about doing it. But now it's time for coffee, man. Then I'll play some morning music to you. How about that, eh? So there we go, microphone off. And we can catch all the background sounds. I'm just going to keep quiet and sip on my coffee while I listen to the morning news from Mother Nature. What has been going on? All right, so today's mission is to find a motel that I can check into. And then I've got some online work to do. I've got quite a bit of online work to do. I've got laundry I need to do, and then I want to get back out into the desert and go and explore some more. The next week or so, I'm going to be primarily in BLM lands, so there'll be a lot more aerial footage coming your way. As we go and transverse this countryside and chase Pumbaa with a drone. Why don't we do that? I think that's a good idea. We're going to buzz her, we're going to chase her, we're going to make her gallop through this desert, huh? Well, nah, and galloping, not too good. Not with a big old bush pig like this. You got to go slow. So we will just take our time and pick the line and work our way on through. You and me. Yeah. Next couple of days going to be great. Okay, so there is the striker bolt where it may be up there, latches over. Now, that was set with a striker bolt too far down, too low. But to adjust it, you got to open those two bolts underneath there. And the only way to get it done is you got to take the striker bolt off. As you can see, it tightens on both ends. Challenge number one. So how are we going to work that with one hand, undo that side and that side, probably simultaneously, and then get that loosened so that I could adjust it. So the first thing obviously is to get the correct tools. So given that I've encountered having to work with those small little areas and things before, I've made sure that I've carried a very useful tool. So first up, this is a very small little 24-piece wrench that comes with various fittings on the far end. And the reason why this is important, first and foremostly, is that it's things that I don't want to over tighten. Looks like I left that closed. So that's the Allen key head that'll go. And it goes onto this little wrench. So why would the size be important? Well, first and foremostly, you don't ever want to over tighten those things. And if you have a tiny little wrench like this thing, well, I don't know that you're going to get a whole lot of leverage to be able to over tighten. So it helps that it's small and you can't over tighten. So that's the one challenge. That's the one side taken care of. But what are we going to do on the other end? So for that, to use a mouth organ. Oh, this is not a mouth organ. So, but it's the same size as a mouth organ. However, there you go. There's its matching size. So what I would be able to do therefore is hold that on one side and this on the other side to tighten. But I have to make do with what I've got gear wise. So the technique for you one arm dudes, it's called the mouth organ. Bite on one side, tighten on the other. So because you want to take care of your teeth, let me just grab my cloth here. As one viewer once said, clearly you didn't have a script. Maybe you should plan better and script this and you would have had that cloth with you. That's true. Wouldn't have been as spontaneous. But the point is taken. Should prepare better before you get into this. What are you going to say? But you need to also allow for spontaneity. So that's what I'll do. Just put it in there. Grab as such. And then I can tighten on both ends. So let me see if I can get a camera angle where I can show you and demonstrate how that gets applied in practice. Because as we all know, theory is one thing and you can say, oh, I put it in your mouth and it'll tighten. But it's a different story if you can get up there, get balanced. So there were things that were important. Obviously, the camber of the ground, so I needed to be very mindful of which way the vehicle's leaning, making sure that it leans away and not towards, because if it's leaning towards, there's just no ways you're going to balance. You need to hold on with one arm and then work. And clearly, that's not an option that exists for me. So let's go take a look and see. Let me go try get this thing up there. Okay, I can't really get a great camera angle, so let's try demonstrate this. So what I do here is I hold the Allen key set in one hand in my mouth, and with the other hand, or at least with my hand, I then take the little wrench, and from the opposite side, I will then attempt to fasten. So the one end I'm pushing forward with my face into the bolt, holding the Allen key in my mouth, and on the other side, I am tightening it, or you could loosen it with the wrench. So that's what I'm doing here. And unfortunately, I couldn't get the camera around the other side so that you'd be able to see that. But this is really what that demonstrates. So I can't exactly talk with this in my mouth. But that's basically the way it gets done, right? I'm holding on the one side, get it in there, and then I'm listening on that end. So, if you don't have two arms, you better have a hand in the mouth and use your mouth. That's the way you talk. Okay, let's try get this baby closed. Let's see if she cooperates. I think it's piece cake, but I've got bedding up there, I have pajamas up there, and all kinds of goodies up there. So, first up, let's get the rods out. There we go. Next order of business. Here we go. I think I'll adjust. So just like that, I was left full of smiles and ready to embark on the next adventure. So, thank you for joining. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification button because tomorrow we back out into the bush. Can't wait to see you out there. See you on the next one.